In this lesson, I would like to show you a simple yet effective way for creating 3D animated characters in your games. So, for this to happen, we will need Blender version 2.8, this software. And actually, that's it. Blender is a fantastic 3D animation software, which is also totally free of charge, and we will use it for creating our animated characters. Okay, so first thing, we are going to go to Mixamo website. Okay, this is an Adobe website, also free of charge. You can sign in and create an account. It's free of charge. And what we'll do here, we will choose our character and the animation, and then we will do something with it in Blender. Okay, so let's start. First, we're going to choose our character. So you see, here we have a character tab. We just click on it, and from the list below, we're going to select any of the characters which appears there. Okay, so let's say we're going to make a simple game of fantasy or sports or something, and we need a woman character. So let's choose just this character, you see, Claire. Okay, so we are taking Claire. We are choosing Claire. And now you can see we can move it with the mouse and see how it looks like. And let's say we're okay with it and we want to use it. So next thing, after choosing our character, next thing I would like to choose animation for that character. So I'm going to click here on the Animations tab. And here we have hundreds of animations, of character animations, of humanoid animations, and we just need to select any of it. So let's start by, for our game, I want Claire to have, let's say, sports animation and dancing animation. Okay, so clicking here on the search field, I can select and filter any of the categories. So I'm going to choose sports and dance. So now let's roll down and select the first animation of our character Claire. Okay, so let's, for example, take this dancing twerk animation. I'm clicking on it, and immediately you can see how Claire is starting to perform the animation. So let's say I'm okay with this animation, and again, we have hundreds of animation to choose from. So the first one will be this dance animation. Okay. On the right side, we have an option to manipulate, to modify this animation a little bit, and every animation has different modifiers. So for this one, we can control the character arm space, and the most important one modifier is the trimming modifier. We can trim the frames, the animation frames, from the start or from the end. Okay, so this is good for this is good for cases where we don't need all the animation range. Okay, so we can click on it, and also there is a mirror modifier which can swap the animation to the other side. So let's say we are okay with it, and now we're going to download it. So clicking here on the download button. Next, I'm going to choose the right format for the downloaded file. So we are going to stick with the regular FBX file, although there is other options like FBX for Unity, which is optimized for Unity, and Collada. I'm going to stick with FBX file, and for this time I'm going to also download the scheme of my character, which is the images which wraps it. Okay, and so let's stick with this with skin option. And regarding the frames per second, we can choose from other options. I'm going to stick with the 30 frames per second, maybe 24. It doesn't really matter. 24 or 30 frames per second, it's almost the same. And that's it. Now let's download our character and the animation. It takes a few seconds. And here we can see that it is 6.6 megabytes, which means that it is quite an effective model. It will be just great. Okay, so dancing twerk. Next thing, we are going to go to open Blender software. Okay, so this is Blender. Again, version 2.8 and above. And I'm going to choose the general project for my animation character. And first thing I'm going to do is to remove this default cube here. So click on it and press on delete. Right. Next I'm going to import the file that I just created and downloaded from Mixamo.com. So let's import that FBX file from the downloads folder. It was in the downloads folder. Yeah. And here it is. This is our animation file with the skin, which means with the character. So I'm clicking on it and then click here on the import FBX. Okay. By the way, I'm leaving all the default options as is. I'm not changing anything. There's no need. So import FBX, and in a few seconds we have Claire in our Blender software. Hello, Claire. Now I'm going to change the viewport to show my character with the shading. It's not mandatory, but just to see it more accurate, a more accurate view of my character. And here it is. Great. Now the default name for my armature is simply armature. See here? We have an armature node. I'm going to change it, double click and change it to Claire. Right. And then I'm going to open this armature node, now named Claire. And inside I can see the animation node. I open this animation node. And here we have the animation name. Remember, it was a kind of dancing, like twerk dancing. And I'm going to change the animation name again by double clicking it to simply dance. Okay? Great. Next I'm going back to Mixamo and I'm going to choose another animation for my character. Next animation, let's say, will be another dance or kind of sport action. Let's see. Okay, this is another dance. Here we have sit-up. Okay, so Claire is doing sit-ups, and let's say I'm building some kind of sports game with dancing and etc. So I'm going to go for this sit-up animation, and again I can modify things here and finally click on the download button. Now this time and from now on I'm not going to choose the with skin option. I'm going to choose only the without skin option. Okay, I want just the animation, not the images, not the textures which wraps my model. So everything as as it was before, but without skin options. Now download, and in a few seconds we are going to see the setups FBX file. Now, since we are not bundle it with the textures, with the skin, then it's a much smaller file now, a few hundreds kilobytes, as opposed to 6.6 megabytes, which was quite big. So setups FBX, this is our next animation. Going back to Blender now, and I'm going to select the file, import again, FBX, and choose my setups FBX file. Let's see where it is. It was in the downloads folder, yes, so where is it? Oh, here it is. Setup FBX file, I'm going to choose it and click on the FBX button again. And now let's see what happens. Here is our clear armature, right, which we imported before. And now we have a new node named armature. Now I'm not going to change that name again because I only care for the clear node. So here I'm opening the armature node, my new armature node, and again open the animation node. And here I'm going to change the animation name from something Mixamo.com to simply setups. Okay? Great. Now going back to Mixamo and choose another animation. And you get the point. You can choose as many animations as you like. I'm going to choose just one more for our example. Let's see, what now? Maybe another dance or hip-hop dancing, no. Center block, nice, but no. Caliper catch. Plank. Okay. Here we have the plank exercise, which works on our abdominals. Nice, but I don't want that. Let's choose another one. Let's see if we have another one. Baseball hit. Break dance. Northern soul spin. Okay, nice. So this is kind of spinning. Northern soul spin. Okay, I like it. So let's add it to our animations. And again, clicking on the download button. Everything as before, and of course without skin option, and download. Okay. Let's wait a few seconds. Great. Going back to Blender again, and File, Import, FBX file, and just look for the Northern soul spin, right, and import. And now we have a new node named armature.001, and I'm going to open it, and again selecting the animation node, and inside change the name of the animation to soul spin. Soul spin. Okay, so now we have three animations, right? The dance, the soul spin, and the sit-ups. I'm going to stop here and continue, but you get the point. You can create and download as many animations as you like for this model. And now I'm going to put all those animations to blend them all to the Claire model. You see, this is my initial Claire model with the dance animation. I want to add all the other animations together to this model and then use it as one. Okay, so what I need to do here is go for the dope sheet, view, okay, for the dope sheet editor. So from this point I'm selecting this combo button and the dope sheet, and here it is. Okay, and while in the dope sheet I'm going to select the here from this drop down I'm going to select the action editor. Okay, so action editor, and make sure you have this the Claire armature selected here. And now I'm going to combine all the animations to this Claire model. So how do I do that? From that button, I'm clicking on it and we have a drop down with all the 3 animations that we imported. Okay, so first I'm going to choose the dance animation. And after choosing the dance animation, I'm clicking here on the push down button. Okay, so this button. And this pushes down this action to the nonlinear animation stack. Okay, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. Next, I'm going to again open this actions drop down and choose the next animation, sit-ups, and click here again on the push down button. And again, clicking my last animation, soul spin, right? And after selecting the soul spin, I'm going to click on the push down button again, and that's it. Now I pushed all the 3 animations to the Claire nonlinear animation stack. So let's just see that. So I'm going to select again the nonlinear animation editor, clicking here and selecting the nonlinear animation editor, right? And now we are going to check that under our Claire armature, right, we have 3 tracks, okay? Each contains different animation. Okay, so here we see we have the soul spin, the sit-ups, and the dance, all under Claire armature. Okay? Right. So now I think that I'm ready to export my Claire model with all its 3 amazing animations to a file format which I can work with. So it depends in which game engine you are working with. I'm working with Cinemax 3D, obviously. So I'm going to export it to a GLTF2 format. So let me show you how I'm doing it. Here on the File menu, I'm going to choose File, and then Export, and then choose GLTF 2.0 format, right? And in my case, I have the default location in the My Documents folder, so that's fine, but I'm going to create a new folder under the Documents folder. Let's call it Claire. Okay, so Claire. Nice. Here we have the Clara folder, and I'm going to select the Clara folder. And last, I'm going to give it a name. So let's just call it Clara. Right. And one last thing, for my case, I want it to be not GLTF binary here, but instead I'm going to select the GLTF separate, which means GLTF plus binary plus textures separated but in the same folder. Okay? Right. And all the other options, I'm going just to keep it the default as is, and then let's click on the Export GLTF button here. And now, this process can take from few seconds to up to 1 minute. Okay? Depends on the complexity of the model, the amount of animations, and the size of the textures. But still, it's going to take a few seconds. So let's just wait until it's okay. So it took about, for this model with these 3 animations, it took about 15 seconds, maybe 13 seconds. Let's go now to the Documents folder and find our Clara model. So here is the Documents folder, and here is our Clara folder. And you can see we have the textures separated from the GLTF model, and that's real fine. Next, I'm going to zip all the files into a single zipped file. I'm going to use WinRAR, but you can use any zip application you have in your computer. So I'm adding to archive, and I'm selecting the zip option, and OK. And here we have our Clara model zipped to a very small file with the textures and animation, everything in it. And now let's just hope it will work as expected in our game engine. So I'm going to test it now and see if it works in CMax 3D Development Studio. So here is my CMax 3D Developer Studio. First thing, I'm going to import that zip file that I just created. So Assets here, Import 3D Model. Let's select our Clara zip file that we just created. It was in the Documents folder, under the Clara folder, and we have the Clara zip file. Let's open it and then click on the Test button. Okay, great news! We have our Clara model inside inside CMax 3D Developer environment, and it looks real cool. I'm going to press on the C button, the C keyboard, C key, to see how it looks as a character in my game. So I'm going to scale it a little bit, pressing on the up arrow. Okay, so now I can see that in order to scale it to so the head touches the top of the capsule here, I needed to scale it for 1.7 approximately. So in order to the feet to touch the ground and fill the capsule, I need to scale it about 3.4. So let's close it, close this window, and change these parameters here, the scale attribute to 3.4. Let's test it now. Okay. Again, pressing on the C key. And now I can see that the Clara model is in the size of the capsule, but I need to modify the calibration a little bit. I think it's 3 meters down on the y-axis. So again, closing this test window and going here to the calibrate y field and -3 meters. Click on the test again. Great. And again on the C key. And now we can see that our character is fit inside our capsule and it touches the ground in the correct height. Last thing, I'm going to click on the I key to see the information of this model, and it's really great to see that we have all 3 animations bundled with that model. So we have the soul spin, dance and sit-ups animations ready for use. Okay, so again I'm closing this test window, and now I feel that I'm okay with importing this model, so I'm clicking on the import button. And Claire imported successfully. Okay, and now we have our Claire model ready to use in our game. So I'm just going to show you how I'm using my newly created model in my game. So here I'm selecting the main file under the Hello World folder, and I'm going to use Claire. So let's define an object. C is a Claire. Remember, we called it Claire. And let's say we are going to put under Claire, let's put box. So B is a static box, size, let's say 50 meters, 1 meter, 50 meters for each size. And we are going to use material named, let's say, rock. Okay, so we have size and material. So 2 objects. The first is a static box and the other is our newly created model named Claire. Right. And I'm going to ask the camera to focus or chase my Claire object. So camera chase C. Okay, C is my object, is my Claire object. Let's run this little program and see if we have Claire in our game. So great, here we have Claire in our game. And now let's test the animations of our model. So I want Claire to be a little bit above my box, so let's put it 2 meters above the box and on the y-axis. So now I'm going to test my animation. So remember we had 3 animations. So we have the sit-ups. So I'm going to activate the sit-ups animation, and then wait 1 second, and then I'm going to activate, we have a dance animation, and again wait 1 second, and I'm going to activate the sit-ups, dance, and we have soul dance, right? Soul dance animation. Okay, so sit-ups, dance, and soul dance. So let's try it out and see if it works. Oh, we have a problem here. Line 7. Wait 1. Oh, okay. There's a typo. Wait 1 second. Okay, try again. Okay, so sit-ups animation working great, and now we have the dance. Yeah. Okay. That's quite a large animation. And the soul dance, I didn't saw it, so again, I'm going to see what were the names. So let's go to Blender and see what the names were. Ah, it's not soul dance, it's soul spin. Okay, I'm sorry. So let's change it to soul spin. Spin. Okay. Sorry, my mistake. So let's try it again. Sit-ups, then dance, then soul spin. Okay, sit-ups, great. Working great. Now we have the dance animation. Yeah. It's quite a big animation. And we have the soul spin animation. Okay. So this is just great. And that's it actually. So in this lesson I've showed you how to go to Mixamo website, Adobe Mixamo website, choose your character, choose your animations, download them, combine all the animations together as nonlinear tracks here in the Blender software, and then export it as a GLTF2 file format and import it to Cinemax 3D Development Studio and use it in your game. Okay, so you can use that method to create any animated characters for your games. It's great for first-person shooter, third-person shooter, fighting games, fantasy games, you name it. So good luck creating your characters. Bye bye.